Right. Tell us about the Big Four agenda.
I don't
Bado tuko ama tulikuwa?
I don't know the Big Four agenda. I will not answer.
As a member of Jubilee Party, what do you know about the Big Four? You tell me. What was the development agenda past 2017? You guys never had a development agenda.
Tell you, other than what I read in the newspapers about Big Four agenda, other than what I hear being said about the Big Four agenda, I do not know what the Big Four agenda is. No one has called me to say this is the Big Four agenda. You know, if you talk of manufacturing, Gerald, do you know this country, in this century, we import toothpicks. Mere toothpicks, yani toothpick ile ya kutoa nini nyama kwa meno, we import from China. So what is Big Four? It is fallacy, it's laughable. When you ask me about what Big Four, walikuwa natuambia they were going to build how many houses? What is the interest? It would have been a very, very good plan. If we sat as Jubilee, it was a very, let me tell you, Big Four in document is an amazing thing. In reality,
it's a different story.
It's a fallacy.
So unaona Big Four ni sinema, hakuna kitu hapa.
Hiyo ni sinema re.
There's nothing. Hakuna kitu ya Big Four. Handshake.
It's a big lie. It is the biggest lie.
Handshake is the biggest lie.
The Kenyan people have been told.
Handshake is the biggest lie.
The biggest lie. Ukora yale ya juu.
Kwa nini?
What is handshake? Handshake is people coming together. Okay? This handshake is conmanship. It is Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta.
So both are conmen.
Remove. No, I'm saying remove. The structure is conmanship. Remove William Ruto from the game, and then we call it handshake. Handshake, had it lived to the spirit and the letter of the philosophy of handshake, it would be an excellent thing. But now, which handshake is this that throws tear gas into a church in Murang'a? Which handshake is this that people call each other name? Which handshake is this that the deputy president today cannot land in Kisii because a cabinet secretary has said he will not land? Which handshake is this that denies the deputy president an opportunity to address the Morans in Kajiado? Which handshake is this that denies the deputy president an opportunity to go to some section of Nyanza? Is that what you call handshake? Is that what you call handshake, that we are 2 years shy to an election, that you have protagonists and tension in the country you could cut through with a razor? Which handshake is this that allows the use of such harsh words on a particular group of the people? That cannot be a handshake. And that is why the deputy president is saying, because now you've refused, and there's a section that you've isolated, let us now have a conversation with the people of the country. That is why there's a wheelbarrow movement, because the deputy president is saying, wachana na maneno ya kuzungumza watu wawili wasikizane. Kama taifa, how do we agree as a nation? Handshake cannot be about two people. Handshake cannot be about the house. Handshake has to be a conversation about the people of this country and the way forward. That is why deputy president is saying, mama mboga,
Tusukumo ilbara,
yule hasela, yule wa mkokoteni ambaye atuoli anawaita malaya, anawaita wakora, na wale na wananchi wote ambao wao wanajikakamua katika maisha, let us have our own conversation. A conversation where we will say, how do I put money in my pocket as a person who sells ndizi kwa mitaa? Wale wa mahawkers, wale mama mboga, wale ambao wanasuka katika saloon, wale ambao wanaendesha matatu, and the people in society, the big class in society, where can we now have our conversation? Because it is prudent and it is clear that there is a section in this country that has failed for way too long, that they are entitled. The people who feel that, you know, because my father was so and so, I'm also entitled to own a section of this country. I'm entitled for a vote. Hatuwezi kukubali. Sasa tumesema sisi wote mawatoto wa maskini, mimi kama mtu wa nyumbani, baba yangu hana chochote ajulikane. When will we have this conversation that today we have our own who will listen to our problems?
On the issues of handshake.
Yes.
On the issues of handshake. On the issues of handshake. It has been said that it's a DP that has isolated himself. And the other day he was seen not to have attended national event at KICC. Was it KICC?
Yes.
I think so. It has been said that he's the one who is isolating himself because he wants to turn the handshake into a competition. What do you feel about that?
When handshake was done, and we've been told countless times, it was only Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. you will have seen his deputy in the steps of Arambe if they had involved him. Okay? They did not want to involve him. They felt that, he was inconsequential. Whatever, when you have Raila in, Deputy William is a nobody. Number two, how do you mourn about Deputy President not attending a function in KICC, yet when he had the COVID conference earlier, a week earlier, they disconnected him from making his contribution. There has been a deliberate effort by those in the system to isolate the Deputy President from functions. You must realize that from 2017, all the supervision and checking of projects that are being undertaken by Jubilee government is now being supervised by Matiang'i. You must also realize that Matiang'i now is the chairman of a sub-cabinet committee that looks on different projects. So somehow the Deputy President does not have any work. Why will you then want to invite him to KICC to come and curtain raise for you in a function that he does not understand? In fact, I can bet the Deputy President must have received his invitation that morning. Or probably they even told him that you can attend this meeting through Zoom. So look at the seat that he was given. And it's not a seat that you give to a Deputy President. Not that he cares what seat you give him. Deputy President can sit on a wheelbarrow. But I saw that he had a plastic chair that he had been paraded along with the other people. So why should the Deputy President continue suffering an embarrassment in silence at the behest of the people who are perpetuating his embarrassment? It is prudent for him to say, fine guys, if you don't need me, so be it. Let me take a back step and then you can drive the agenda. In an interview with Joe again, the Deputy President himself did say that I have a feeling that the President has told me, Deputy President, please step back. Let me run the show. That is exactly what he said. So if there is a feeling that when you have the Deputy President in a function, he overshadows the rest of the people, then best for him that he stays behind and you run the show. You cannot steal billions and become COVID billionaires and then you want the Deputy President to come and cut and raise
for the billionaires.
No. Why? You did not have him in the conversation before. The Deputy President has not in any way been called to participate in what is happening in the country. He was not. You will remember that when the pandemic broke out, Deputy President issued his own presser in Arambe.
In Arambe, yes.
And then he had a subsequent one in Karen. So they've never had him in this discussion. They have never involved him. You have stolen the money. Why do you want to have him in a conversation where he's not participated? Why do you want him now to carry the sins of COVID billionaires? What he was not part of it. Sasa kila mtu apambana na hali yake. And let me tell you, Jack, so that we do not forget, people must be answerable. Sisi tuliambiwa tukae ndani kwa manyumba. Ukijaribu kutoka nje na wewe utakufa. Vaa mask, sanitize.
Funga mdomo.
Watu walikuwa wanakula. It is now clear that billions was stolen. Can you imagine even companies so that you know these people were daredevils? They registered companies. Unaitwa kuna kampuni inaitwa Cartel Limited and you still give them a tender. Yani even the name alone is
Cartel Limited. Labda kuna kazi.
Yes, you can get it inaitwa sijui buy and shop or shop and go. Some crazy names.
Kwani nilikuwa wapi watu wakikuleta?
Companies were formed 3 months before they were getting a tender, or even a month before being awarded a tender, just purposely because they wanted to steal from the sick and the dying in hospital. It is a shame. As a country, we must condemn. We will not forget. Someone someday will take responsibility from stealing.
Let me ask you, Mheshimiwa. Then this is outright. The question is: do you think if the DP was not in this argument with the president, do you think it would be different? Because you've seen Raila has been the one who has been making noises about corruption. And now he's always saying, wait for investigations. The other time when you're talking about the theft in NYS, the deputy president was the one who came out and said there's no money who had been lost. When Kafura talked about carrying money in a sack. Do you think the narrative would have been different if it was back in 2017 that the money that comes is being talked about?
You know,
what do you feel about
there was a wisdom Gerald in the Constitution when it created the office of the president, the office of the majority leader, and the office of the minority leader, because there has to be an opposition to every government. Opposition to check mate the government and check its program. Even though the Constitution still allows me as a Jubilee Member of Parliament, even though we are in government, my role as a Member of Parliament is to oversight the executive. It will be different if Raila Odinga was on the other side. He has refused. I'm told in Africa it is bad manners to speak
Just when you're eating.
when you're eating.
So do you think the DP would have condemned the theft that comes?
DP is in the government. He should have found out. It will be prudent for him to find out what was happening in the government. But you have a government that is in disarray, a government that does not operate. No one knows what the left is doing and the right is doing. The cabinet is in shambles. No one cares. Everyone is doing their own stuff. So if we had a cabinet that was united, a cabinet that worked in synergy, then they will have had a meeting in cabinet and say, listen, we have an issue that is being raised by the opposition, that money has been stolen, so that people have to be now held accountable. But you find that is difficult. The deputy president is not even aware
of what is going on in
yes,
government.
A section of government is not aware. Some section of cabinet is not aware what is going on in government. Raila Odinga himself came out very strongly to say, no, guys, for the first time, Raila Odinga is saying, let us not hurry. Let us have a forensic audit on what has happened in Kemsa. Initially, Raila Odinga and his team will have fired the first half. This time around, they're saying, no, nothing is happening. Can you even imagine? People have lost life in Murang'a. Raila Odinga is taking a very neutral ground, he's being a nice man, saying, we must condemn violence, using some very niceties, some sort of love letter when in condemning violence, and then he sends Kina Junet to parliament to go and attack the deputy president. I mean, he's not the Raila Odinga,